Galactic Council shocked when a human pets Galaxy's deadliest predator. Beginning. The day humanity entered the hall. The Galactic Council's Hall of Sentience was a place where stars themselves seemed to listen. It was vast, a chamber carved from asteroid iron and glassy nebula quartz, orbiting the twin suns of Zero's prime. Every intelligent species ever recognized by the Council gathered there when history demanded attention. That day, history was human-shaped. Humanity had clawed its way into the galactic stage faster than most civilizations believed possible. In a few centuries, they'd gone from sending metal shells across their solar system to building warp drives out of scavenged alien tech. Now, they stood before the Council to request membership, a privilege granted only to species that could prove themselves civilized. The Council had convened thousands of times before, but never with such tension, because humanity had brought something unsettling. Their representative, Captain Amelia Royce, stood tall before the amphitheater of alien delegates. She wore the navy blue of Earth Command, her badge gleaming under alien starlight, and beside her, on a chain leashed thick as a forearm, stood a creature no one expected to see alive, let alone tamed. The whispers began instantly. The sound rolled through the Council like thunder. That's impossible. Is that a Vorthrax? By the void! That thing wiped out the Solari homeworld. A dozen languages, 1,000 frequencies, all saying the same thing. That human is insane. Because what stood beside Captain Royce was a Vorthrax, the galaxy's most feared apex predator. A nightmare born from the acid storms of the Epsilon drifts. Standing 12 feet tall, its onyx scales shimmered like molten metal, eyes burning with gold plasma. The Vorthrax was so deadly that even its shadow was considered a biological hazard. Entire planets had fallen to single specimens. The Council had declared the species an extermination level threat centuries ago. And yet, Amelia was petting it. Her hand rested gently on the monster's snout. The Vorthrax rumbled, but it wasn't growling. It was purring. Middle, the unthinkable connection. Captain Royce said High Chancellor Star of the Voline Dominion, his voice like grinding glass. Explain yourself. You bring an extinction-class organism into this chamber, alive, and proceed to stroke it like a domesticated pet. This is an act of aggression. Amelia smiled faintly, unfazed. Aggression? Hardly. This is Ember. The Council's translation, Matrix glitched for a moment, confused. Ember? Star echoed. You've named it? Of course, Amelia replied. She's my companion. At that, several representatives left their seats in outrage. The serpentine Kithri coiled their bodies in alarm, their forked tongues hissing. The crystalline Alnari dimmed their inner lights to morning blue. The insectoid Vecton clicked their mandibles rapidly, a sound of disbelief. Even the warlike Fomer, who had once nuked their own moon for honor, looked unsettled. But the human continued calmly. 2 years ago, my crew and I crash-landed on the fourth moon of Dravis 9. Communications were gone. The atmosphere was toxic, and she found us. Amelia gestured to the beast. Ember's golden eyes flicked to her affectionately. 2 of my team were dead before I even saw her clearly. Amelia said softly. The Vorthrax hunted us through the storm plains for 6 days. Then something happened. I got caught in a lightning fissure. My suit was torn. I was dying. And Amelia paused, eyes distant. She dragged me into her den. The silence in the chamber was heavy enough to crush sound itself. She didn't kill you? Asked Counselor VRNK incredulously, his many eyes blinking out of rhythm. No. She kept me alive. Brought me food. Alien birds. Even roots she'd torn from the rock. When I finally regained strength, she let me leave, but she followed, always stayed near. Every time I looked back, she was there, watching. Amelia's tone softened. When my rescue ship arrived, she didn't attack, just stood there. I couldn't leave her behind. Counselor Star thudded a clawed hand against his console. Impossible. The Vorthrax recognizes no bond but the hunger cycle. Its neural aggression patterns are perpetual. Maybe yours are, Amelia said evenly, but humans have a way of changing the rules. A murmur spread. Humans change everything. That had been their reputation since the day they reverse-engineered the first warp core from alien wreckage. They didn't obey limits. They rewrote them. The test of control. The Council demanded proof. They would not take a story for truth, not when the risk was extinction. And so, under the radiant light of Zero's prime, they arranged a demonstration. Amelia and Ember were brought to the testing arena, a containment dome with energy barriers strong enough to withstand a supernova shockwave. Observers filled to tears, from the feathered aviary to mechanical SYTH drones. Even the Galactic Chancellor himself attended. Amelia stepped into the arena, without armor, just her uniform and confidence. Ember followed behind, muscles rippling under her black hide. The Predator's breath steamed the air. Captain Royce. The Chancellor said to the comm, we have programmed holographic projections of various species, including hostile variants. Your task is to prove that this creature obeys your command under duress. If she attacks, the dome will vaporize her instantly. Do you accept? Amelia nodded once. She'll obey. The simulation began. First, a group of holographic raiders appeared. Alien warriors charging forward with plasma rifles. Ember's golden eyes flared, her tail slamming the ground like a thunderclap. But Amelia raised her hand. Stay. The Vorthrax froze mid-snar. Her claws flexed, her throat rumbled, but she didn't move. The holograms fired. Bolts of blue plasma hissed through the air, passing harmlessly through her projection-immune skin. Ember didn't retaliate. The chamber's tension was electric. Then came the second test. A holographic storm beast, the natural rival of the Vorthrax. Its shriek pierced the air. Every council delegate knew what that meant. Vorthraxes went into frenzy at that sound, an ancient predator instinct. Ember's body trembled, eyes blazing. Her head jerked toward the illusion. Ember, Amelia said quietly, "Look at me." The monster's head turned, slowly, painfully, toward her. The holographic beast roared again, but Ember didn't move. "Good girl," Amelia whispered, stepping forward. She placed her hand on Ember's muzzle. The creature lowered its head, exhaling softly. You could hear the collective gasp, even through the soundproof barrier. The Chancellor rose from his seat. "By the stars of the bays." "Not a bays," Amelia corrected. "Understands." A predator's mind. After the demonstration, Amelia was summoned to a private session. The council wanted details. The scientific delegation dissected her words like data. "How?" asked Dr. Venix of the SYTH Collective. "The Vorthrax brain operates on quantum aggression loops. It has no empathy receptors. Maybe not for other species," Amelia said, "but something changed when she met a human." She projected a hololog of Ember's neural scans. The readings were erratic but clear, patterns of neural bonding activity previously unseen in the species. When humans bond with animals, Amelia explained, "We trigger mirror neurons, mutual recognition, trust through nonverbal cues. I think that somehow crossed into her brain. She adapted." The Alnari scientist pulsed a light of curiosity. "You're saying you rewired Predator's mind through affection?" Amelia smiled faintly. "We call it love." The chamber went silent again. The word carried no translation. For most species, it was a human eccentricity, an emotional code that defied logic. But for Ember, it had become evolution, the fear of the council. Not everyone was convinced. "This is a weapon," growled General Court to the Foamer. "An apex killer that responds only to human control. If humanity can tame one Vorthrax, they can tame an army." Amelia stiffened. "You think we weaponize her?" "You weaponize everything," Court spat. "First your gravity drives, then your dark matter rifles, and now a galactic terror. You'll enslave the stars next." The council erupted in debate. Some agreed with Korth. Others defended the human capacity for compassion. The session lasted hours. Accusations flew like comets. Finally, the Chancellor raised a clawed hand. "Enough. We will recess and deliberate." As the council dispersed, Amelia sat beside Ember, who lay quietly by the containment field. The Predator's eyes reflected the stars. "I know, girl," Amelia murmured, stroking her snout. "They don't understand you." Ember's golden gaze blinked once, slow and deliberate, a gesture of trust. Middle climax, the assassination attempt. That night, while the council deliberated, a shadow moved the corridors of the orbital station. It belonged to Court's adjutant, a zealot who believed humanity was a threat to galactic order. He carried a plasma spear rigged with neutron destabilizers, enough to kill even a Vorthrax. He entered the holding chamber, where Ember rested. The beast stirred, sensing motion, her golden eyes igniting in the dark. The adjutant aimed his weapon. "You're not a pet," he snarled. "You're a plague." He lunged. The sound that followed shook the entire deck. By the time security arrived, the adjutant was gone, disintegrated. The plasma spear lay bent and melted beside his remains. Ember crouched defensively over Amelia, who had rushed in after hearing the alarm. Security aimed their rifles, but Amelia raised her hand. "Stand down." She was protecting me. Council investigators confirmed the truth. Ember had acted not from hunger, but defense. Every behavioral log, every neural scan proved it. The beast had chosen restraint, even when attacked. The incident changed everything, ending the vote and the legacy. The council reconvened one final time. Every species representative was present. The decision would define galactic history. Chancellor Star stood. "The Council of Sentience hereby acknowledges a petition of the human species for full membership. Furthermore, the creature designated Vorthrax, now recognized as Ember, shall be reclassified from extermination-level threat to conditional sentient entity, under human guardianship." The chamber erupted in astonished murmurs. Amelia closed her eyes, exhaling the breath she'd held for days. The Chancellor continued, "Let this moment remind us, sentience is not measured by biology, but by choice. And today a human and a monster chose peace." Amelia looked at Ember. The great creature lowered her head, allowing Amelia to rest her palm against her scales once more. Around them, alien delegates who had once recoiled in terror now leaned forward in awe. And then, something extraordinary happened. Ember extended her snout toward the Chancellor's podium and, carefully, bowed. The chamber fell utterly silent. Then, for the first time in the history of the Galactic Council, applause echoed through the hall. Not through words, but through energy, flashes of bioluminescence, electromagnetic pulses, harmonic tones. Every species expressed awe in their own way. Amelia smiled. "Looks like you made some friends, girl." Ember blinked, her golden eyes reflecting the entire galaxy. Epilogue. The human and the monster. Months later, humanity's membership was ratified. Amelia became the first ambassador of interspecies trust. Ember remained by her side, symbol of unity between prey and predator, reason and instinct. Together, they traveled to stars, visiting worlds that once feared her, showing that empathy could tame even the darkest life form in the galaxy. Children on distant colonies would point to the sky and whisper stories of the human and the beast that purred. And deep within the archives of the Galactic Council, a new law was engraved into the ancient code of civilization. Sentience is not the absence of fear, but the ability to choose beyond it. And thus, the day humanity shocked the galaxy became the day the galaxy remembered what it meant to evolve.